Did you know that in Japan, there's a man who spent 20 years married without speaking to his wife, and yet they still live together? Otu Katayama, feeling displaced by the attention, his wife, Yumi Katayama, devoted to their children, decided to remain silent as a way of expressing his discontent. But he did so for 20 years. Yumi tried numerous times to contact her husband. Otu responded with grunts. He simply ignored her words. Despite this, Yumi never considered separating. Yoshiki Katayama, the 18-year-old son, contacted a Japanese television program requesting help to resolve the family conflict. The production team organized a meeting in the same park where they had their first date. There, Otu finally broke his silence and expressed his gratitude to Yumi for her dedication, patience, and being there for him. It has been reported on social media that many parents in China place adhesive tape over their babies' eyes. Initially, it was thought to be due to a medical condition called microphthalmia, a very rare congenital anomaly. However, this has nothing to do with the use of tape or adhesive tape on the eyelids. The reason is purely aesthetic. In some Asian cultures, having a double eyelid, that is, a visible crease on the upper eyelid, is valued. Therefore, some parents place tape on their children's eyelids in an attempt to form this crease naturally. The famous channel that ushered in the era of music videos in 1981 will close its doors to its main channels on December 31, 2025, following a shift in music and entertainment consumption, where streaming and digital platforms dominate the audience experience, decreasing traditional television viewing. The 5 channels that will cease broadcasting are MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, Club MTV, and MTV Live, scheduled to close on December 31, 2025, in Europe, the United Kingdom, Australia, Asia, and Latin America. However, in the United States, the main MTV channel will remain active and will focus on reality shows and docu-realities. Thus, the decline in advertising revenue and the drop in pay TV subscriptions are influencing the reduction of channels. Do you think these closures mark the beginning of the end for MTV, or will they recover? Let me know your opinion in the comments section. In some Chinese cities, air pollution has reached such extreme levels that companies have begun selling canned fresh air. These containers contain pure air collected in mountains or rural areas and are marketed as a luxury. Some brands even indicate the exact source and altitude of where it was collected. Although it sounds absurd, thousands of people buy them to breathe during the most critical days. Would you buy a breath of fresh air if you lived in a city like that? Alex Roca Campillo, with cerebral palsy, made history by becoming the first person with a disability to finish a marathon. In 2021, he completed the Barcelona Marathon in less than 6 hours. His achievement is a symbol of overcoming, proving that there are no limits when you have determination. Did you know there's a right side to tie your shoelaces? And no, it's not magic, it's physics. It turns out that if you tie the final knot the wrong way, your laces loosen on their own with each step. But if you do it right, the knot tightens as you walk. This is what happens if you tie the knot to the left, counterclockwise. It loosens with each step. And this is true if you tie the knot to the right, clockwise. Notice how no matter how much you move it, it doesn't loosen. The famous MSCHF collective, known for its extravagant creations, recently launched the Rock Candy, a ring that combines nostalgia and luxury. Inspired by classic candy rings, this accessory features a 0.75 carat lab-grown diamond set in a sterling silver band, all wrapped in 7 grams of sugar. It was released in 3 flavors: cotton candy with blue raspberry, green apple, and strawberry. If you don't get a wedding ring, at least you can show this one off. Unfortunately, it was a limited edition and was only available until February 14th for Valentine's Day. Anisocoria is a condition in which a person's pupils are of different sizes, indicating an uneven response of the iris to light. It can be physiological when it is mild and not associated with any disease, or pathological when it is due to neurological problems, trauma, infections, or the use of certain medications. Depending on the cause, it may be accompanied by symptoms such as blurred vision, eye pain, or sensitivity to light. Its diagnosis requires a medical evaluation to determine whether it is benign or indicates a serious condition. Researchers have developed a new injectable, non-hormonal, male contraceptive called ADAM. Created by the biotechnology company Contraline, and this method uses a hydrogel injected into the vas deferens, blocking the passage of sperm during ejaculation. Unlike vasectomy, ADAM is reversible, as the gel breaks down naturally over time, allowing fertility to be restored without surgery. Initial clinical trials with 25 participants showed that no sperm was detected in semen up to 24 months later without serious side effects. It represents a promising advance in male contraception. Would you be willing to try it? Leave your opinion in the comments. Wait a minute. I need you to see something. How is it possible that 90% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to the channel? Remember that subscribing is free! The more of us there are in the community, the more videos like this I can continue to make. Support the channel with your subscription, give me a like, and leave a comment for the algorithm. Check out the amazing Walmart ad featuring the most iconic cars we all loved as kids. From the DeLorean from Back to the Future to the Batmobile. This commercial is full of nostalgia and fun. Imagine looking in the mirror and discovering your skin has turned blue. No, it's not magic or a special effect, but a real phenomenon called argyria, caused by the accumulation of silver in the body. This occurs when a person is exposed to silver compounds for long periods of time, such as in certain medications or supplements. The silver deposits in the skin, and when it reacts with light, turns it a blue-gray hue. For life. Although it's not dangerous, it's irreversible. Can you imagine living like that? Let me know in the comments. Throughout history, intelligence services have developed unusual and chilling weapons, and the CIA is no exception. Although the exact date remains debated, a weapon was designed that could cause heart attacks in its victims without leaving a trace. It was a small pistol that fired a tiny dart impregnated with a lethal toxin. The most terrifying thing was that the wound was practically imperceptible and resembled a mosquito bite, making the death seem completely natural. This technology was designed to eliminate targets discreetly, without arousing suspicion. Although it is unclear whether it was ever used in actual operations, its existence demonstrates the extent to which intelligence agencies have come. Check out the talent of this artist and designer. Known for his creativity in innovative sculptures and designs, his works stand out for combining elements of modern art with a minimalist approach, often using unique materials and techniques that generate visually striking pieces. Do you know the name of this artist? Leave me your answer in the comments. In India, some amusement parks, especially in cities like Mumbai and New Delhi, host up to 300,000 people in a single weekend. Although there are safe parks, many have poor safety measures. It's common to see damaged rides, and in some extreme cases, they've even broken in two. The chaos and lack of control make the experience risky. A moment of adrenaline can be fun, but there are anecdotes one would rather not experience or tell. And you, would you dare to go to an amusement park in India? I'll read you in the comments. The flying car is now a reality and has been given the green light to circulate in Europe. Klein Vision, the Slovak company, presented its model at the virtual CES 2021 fair. This car can not only drive through the streets, but can also fly at speeds of up to 180 kilometers per hour, thanks to its 200 horsepower engine. It has recently obtained official permission to fly in the European skies. A team of Japanese scientists has achieved a revolutionary breakthrough in genetic medicine, eliminating an extra chromosome in cells of people with Down syndrome in a laboratory. This discovery represents a milestone in genetic research and opens up new possibilities for understanding and, in the future, treating this condition. The process developed by the scientists involved using advanced gene editing tools to turn off or eliminate the extra copy of the chromosome in cells grown in the laboratory. Although this technique is still in its early stages and cannot be applied directly to people, it represents an important step toward the possibility of developing personalized treatments that improve the quality of life of those with this condition. As science advances, we face crucial ethical and medical questions. How far should we go in genetic modification? Could this technique lead us to a future where we can correct genetic defects before birth? What is certain is that genetics is evolving at an accelerated pace, and this discovery could mark the beginning of a new era in medicine. Wow, science has come a long way. How far do you think we can go? Leave me your opinion in the comments. Weaver birds are fascinating. They build incredibly elaborate nests to attract females, and if they don't meet their expectations, they destroy them and start over. One of the most impressive species is the Republican weaver, which builds enormous communal nests that can house up to 500 birds. The surprising thing is that they are compulsive builders. Birds that don't reproduce contribute by feeding their young and helping build the nests of those that do. The birds then return the favor, thus creating a cooperative community. And, in case you're wondering, how do these enormous structures stand up? These times they intertwine dry branches and wood fragments into a sturdy branch that serves as the base for their nests. Impressive. In Australia, birds of prey have been documented setting fires. These include kites and falcons that collect burning branches from natural and arson fires and drop them over dry areas to scare prey like mice or insects and trap them as they flee. This strategy was discovered through witnesses and behavioral studies. They are the only non-human animals that use fire as a hunting tool. Literally, firebirds. And it's not a movie, it's real. Asmelash Zeferu, a young man from Ethiopia, created his own plane by watching hours of YouTube tutorials and reading manuals. Asmelash named the plane K570A. K is the initial of his mother's name, Kirosh. 570 was the number of days it took him to finish it, and A stands for airplane. To build his plane, he spent $7,500, and despite the obstacles, he didn't stop pursuing his dream, becoming an example of perseverance and overcoming for all Ethiopians. One of the fundamental rules for nature videographers is non-intervention. This means they must avoid altering the behavior of animals or the environment while filming. During the filming of a documentary in Antarctica, a violent storm trapped a group of penguins in a ravine with slippery walls that were impossible to climb. Seeing them suffering and realizing they weren't going to survive, they decided to intervene, helping them out of the ravine. This action sparked a debate about whether what they did was right or wrong. What do you think? The sea slugs, Elysia margaritana and Elysia atraviridis, are fascinating creatures. These nudibranch mollusks have an amazing ability. When they get sick, they cut their head off the affected body in order to survive. This phenomenon, known as cephalic autonomy, allows them to get rid of the damaged part and regenerate a new body, thus preserving the healthy part. Nembrotha kubariana is a marine nudibranch known for its striking coloration, which combines fluorescent green hues with black stripes and orange or red accents on its rhinophores and gills. This species inhabits the coral reefs of the Indo-Pacific Ocean and feeds primarily on toxic ascidians, from which it extracts chemical compounds for its own defense. Like other nudibranchs, it lacks a shell and moves by means of a muscular ventral surface called a foot. Its bright coloration is an example of aposematism, a strategy that warns predators of its toxicity. Hey, wait a minute. If you're here, it's because you like Curiosities, right? Let me tell you, I have a big surprise for you. If you love random curiosities as much as I do, you're going to love my new channel, Khalan Studio. There, I don't tell you 100 facts in one video. Instead, I take you deep into one fascinating topic. Real mysteries, incredible inventions, hidden truths, and things you probably never knew existed. So if you love to explore, think, and be amazed, check out Khalan Studio and subscribe. Hope to see you there. Stay curious. Did you know that the world's only taxidermied blue whale has its mouth sealed shut because of a couple? At the Natural History Museum in Gothenburg, Sweden, visitors used to be able to go inside the enormous blue whale specimen. But in the 1930s, a couple was caught having sex inside the gigantic animal, and since then, the museum decided to seal its mouth shut forever. He is Bartosz Ostalowski, originally from Poland, a professional racing driver who pushes all limits. In 2006, Bartosz lost his arms in an accident, but that did not stop his passion for racing. In 2007, he decided to learn to drive with his feet only, just as he had to do with the rest of his life. Today, Bartosz not only drives, but is a world leader in drift, one of the most demanding forms of motorsport. Bath dust is a product designed to be used in the bathtub. When you add it to warm water, it creates a relaxing and aromatic effect. What's strange is that there are food versions like icy, cereal, and even Cheetos Flaming Hot. Who would want to bathe in water that smells like Cheetos? How disgusting! Did you know that in Japan there's a mayonnaise-flavored drink? It's supposed to have no real mayonnaise, just artificial flavorings. Check out the reactions of Hito Bito when they try it. Did you know that a kiss can do much more than express love or desire? A passionate kiss exchanges approximately 80 million bacteria between two people. And while this may sound unpleasant, it has surprising benefits. By exposing us to a variety of microorganisms, our immune system strengthens, developing better defenses against potential infections. Furthermore, kissing releases endorphins and oxytocin, reducing stress and improving mood. One study even showed that couples who kiss frequently tend to get sick less often. So, far from being just a show of affection, a kiss can be considered a small natural vaccine that keeps us healthier and happier. Within the Minecraft game, Reporters Without Borders has created a library where you'll find articles, magazines, and journalistic investigations that are blocked in countries with heavy censorship. This in-game library aims for global reach and is difficult to control. Anyone can access and read things that would be prohibited in their own country. The block-based world is becoming a world of information and knowledge. The Library of Alexandria of the Future. Can you imagine a flying bicycle? Now it's no longer just a product of imagination. This innovative bicycle made its debut at the Detroit Auto Show. It's called the Hover Bike, and it was designed by the Japanese company Airwinds Technology. It can fly for 40 minutes and reach speeds of up to 62 miles per hour. It's fascinating. Many have even compared it to the speeders from Star Wars. Would you like to have one? I sure would. The edges of your pupils are formed by dark folds of the iris that protrude slightly and have a fiber-like texture, like tiny fringes. They look like hundreds of fingers. Did you know that some people can get drunk from eating bread? This is due to auto-fermentation syndrome, a rare condition in which the body converts carbohydrates into alcohol. For April Fool's Day, Pizza Hut in Taiwan sold a zero-harm pizza. This consisted of a light crust pizza that doesn't make you fat or bloat. It was a clever joke and well received by the public. Can you imagine riding a horse of the future? Kawasaki has made it a reality with Corleo, the new robot horse that's breaking the internet. Corleo is part of Kawasaki Robotics' BEX project, and it's much more than a curious experiment. This quadruped robot is designed to transport people, navigate difficult terrain, and perform logistical tasks in environments where other vehicles can't reach. It's powered by hydrogen, making it eco-friendly and silent. It uses cutting-edge artificial intelligence to adapt to all types of terrain, avoid obstacles, and maintain balance, even on uneven surfaces. It can walk like a real animal, thanks to its articulated legs. But if the terrain allows it, it deploys wheels on its hooves and rolls like a cyber scooter. It can support up to 100 kg of weight, which means it can carry an adult without a problem. And it's equipped with gyroscopic sensors, cameras, and LiDAR that allow it to map the environment and move autonomously or remotely. Kawasaki plans to use Corleo in agriculture, tourism, logistics, and even as a theme park attraction. A true fusion of technology and nature. Are we witnessing the birth of the cowboy of the future? Because if Corleo can trot like this today, can you imagine what he'll be doing in 10 years? Would you ride this horse of the future? Tell me in the comments. This is how they created Professor Orloff's floating head in Wednesday. It all began with a blend of real acting and digital magic. Christopher Lloyd was filmed using a technique called volumetric capture, which captures his face from every angle to transform it into a hyper-realistic digital version. Meanwhile, on set, where the head was supposed to be, a 360-degree camera was positioned, capturing the scene from that point of view so that his interaction with the other actors was perfect. VFX artists then took charge of creating the virtual jar, recreating the glass, the liquid, the bubbles, and even small impurities to make it look authentic. Thus, his smile and gestures come to life as if he were actually inside that enchanted jar. Do you know how to tell if the honey you buy is pure? To check, place a little honey in a saucer, add water, and stir gently. If the honey forms patterns similar to a honeycomb, it's pure. Another way is to place the honey on a wooden spoon so as not to affect its properties and observe how it drips. If it drips in a continuous stream, it's pure. If it curdles, it's likely adulterated. Lensless cameras that create images using artificial intelligence already exist. Yes. No lenses, no megapixels, no traditional optics. Instead of capturing a classic photo, these devices gather data, and the AI generates the final image. The most famous example is Paragraphica, a camera that uses no sensor or lens. It works with environmental information, like location, weather, and time, and uses generative AI based on stable diffusion to produce an image that interprets the scene. The physical device is built with a Raspberry Pi 4, a touchscreen, and a 3D printed casing. It's not meant to replace traditional cameras, but to open a new door, images created by artificial intelligence from the world around you. Many hospitals in China have smart transfer beds that speed up patient transfers, minimize pain, and prevent injuries. At first glance, it seems like the people around him are walking backward, but that's not the case. Robin Channing, an expert at walking backward, creates the illusion of moving forward normally while walking in reverse, and then plays the video in reverse, making everything around him appear to be moving backward. Did you know that in China, some truck drivers transport cars on top of their regular loads as a way to optimize space and efficiency in goods transportation? Given the large volume of vehicles that need to be distributed across the country, especially in the automotive sector, truck drivers take advantage of their trucks' additional capacity to carry vehicles on top of other products or goods. This practice also addresses the need to reduce costs and maximize payload capacity. This isn't a dried leaf. It's a spider with incredible camouflage. Its curved body is a shade of brown and beige, with a texture and a shape that perfectly mimics a dried leaf. See that mango leaf? Look closely, because there's a caterpillar hiding there, and you won't even notice it. It's called Euthyalia aconthia, but it's better known as the common barren caterpillar, and it has an incredible ability. It can visually blend in with leaves, becoming practically invisible. It's green, hairy, and shaped to mimic every line and texture of the leaf. A true expert at camouflage. You can find it in meadows or fields with lots of vegetation, especially where there are mango trees. Thanks to its camouflage, it fools predators, and us humans too. It's there, and you just can't see it. It's fascinating how some animals and insects have evolved to adapt to their environment with such astonishing precision. Nature always has an ace up its sleeve. Would you like to see more animals with amazing abilities like this? Let me know in the comments. Did you know that Soul Asylum's iconic song Runaway Train helped find missing people? In 1993, MTV aired an unusual music video for Runaway Train, featuring the names and photos of real young people who had been reported missing. The band enlisted the support of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, providing them with images of the young people they wanted to include in the video. Thanks to this initiative, 73 people were identified and located. Additionally, every time someone was located, the images were updated in the music video. The song and its video were a huge success, not only musically but also as a powerful tool for helping others, leaving a deep impression on the band and their commitment to the cause.
Call you up in the middle of the night, like a firefly.
This is the total amount of gold ever mined on Earth. This sphere has a diameter of 27.8 meters, almost the same size as a hot air balloon. It may seem like science fiction, but it's not. Some cows live with a hole in their side that connects directly to their stomach. Yes, a real hole. And no, it doesn't hurt. It's called a rumen cannula, and it's a tool used by scientists and veterinarians to study these animals' digestive systems in real time. Through this opening, they can observe, take samples, and even introduce food to analyze how it's processed within the rumen, the cow's main stomach. Although at first glance it may seem cruel or strange, these cows are usually perfectly healthy and show no signs of pain. In fact, many of them live for years with the cannula and receive constant care. The goal is to improve animal nutrition, reduce polluting emissions from cattle, and better understand their digestion to achieve more efficient and sustainable livestock farming. A practice that blends science, curiosity, and a lot of controversy. Water capsules are innovative edible containers designed to hold water or other liquids, eliminating the need for plastic packaging. They are made from a biodegradable and edible membrane, usually based on seaweed or similar natural materials. These capsules are lightweight, practical, and environmentally friendly as they degrade easily if not consumed. They have been designed for sporting events, festivals, and other activities where fast and sustainable hydration is key. This is the most expensive vending machine in the world. Located in Singapore, it is an innovative 15-story building that functions as a gigantic automated system for storing and selling luxury cars. This vending machine uses advanced technology to deliver high-end vehicles such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bentley in a matter of minutes. Customers select the desired car via a touchscreen, and a robotic system transports the vehicle from its compartment to the delivery level. The zombie snail is the result of a phenomenon caused by the parasite Leucochloridium paradoxum, a flatworm that infects certain land snails. This parasite settles in the snail's tentacles, causing them to swell and acquire bright colors like green and yellow, mimicking the appearance of caterpillars. It also forces the snail to move to brighter, more exposed areas, which increases the likelihood of being eaten by birds. Once in the bird, the Leucochloridium completes its life cycle, and its eggs are expelled in the bird's feces, which are then consumed by other snails, restarting the process. Did you know there are sperm races? Each participant submits a sample, which is analyzed in a laboratory. The sperm are placed on a microscopic track, and powerful cameras record their movement and speed. Software then transforms the results into a real-time 3D animation. There are even bets and commentators.
Through the finish line! USC wins!
In the village of Dinosa, in Montenegro, there is a mulberry tree that has fascinated tourists and curious people. During heavy rains, the underground springs flood, and the additional pressure causes the water to rise through the hollow trunk of the tree, escaping through the holes and giving the appearance of a fountain. The ancient Romans not only built impressive structures, but also developed a revolutionary type of cement. This material grows stronger over time, thanks to a unique combination of minerals that react with seawater. Today, archaeologists are amazed to see that some of Rome's oldest monuments, such as the Pantheon, have withstood thousands of years due to the durability of this cement. The secret of this material, lost for centuries, is now being studied to replicate its properties in modern construction. Have you ever seen this on eggs? These mysterious threads are called chalazae, spiral bands that hold the yolk to both ends of the inner membrane. Their function is to keep the yolk in the center of the egg, like rubber bands, holding it in place so it doesn't touch the shell. They are completely edible and don't affect the flavor or quality of the egg. In fact, they indicate that it's fresh. This is the world's slowest crash, taking almost 2 months to happen. The cars deformed 1 millimeter every hour. How is this possible? It's a controlled work of art in which the artist gradually deformed the cars using a pressure system. She is Christiane Vleugels, a prominent Belgian artist born on March 3, 1963 in Antwerp. Throughout her career, she has perfected a hyper-realistic technique in oil painting, creating works that accurately capture the essence and emotion of her subjects. Her paintings, often large format, present portraits and human figures with striking realism, inviting the viewer to immerse themselves in worlds full of fantasy and reflection. Vlugels has participated in international exhibitions, and her work is appreciated by collectors around the world. Clone Alpha is a humanoid robot developed by Clone Robotics, which stands out for its advanced similarity to human anatomy. This android has a musculoskeletal structure composed of 206 three-dimensionally printed bones and around 1,000 artificial muscles called myofiber, which contract through a hydraulic system that uses water as a means of operation. This innovation allows it to execute fluid and natural movements, remarkably resembling those of a person. The truth is, its realism scares me a little. And you? Tell me what you think in the comments. The car with a rear fifth wheel, designed by Brooks Walker, is an innovation created to facilitate parking in tight spaces. This vehicle features an additional wheel hidden at the back, which can be deployed to rotate the car almost on its own axis, allowing for precise and efficient maneuvers, such as parallel parking with ease. Introduced in the 1930s, this mechanical system was a creative solution to the parking challenges in urban environments. No, it's not an invention of Capsule Corporation, even though it might seem like it. The Chinese brand Xpeng unveiled this van, which inside holds the eVTOL, an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, meaning a helicopter inside your car. The idea is to have a vehicle for outdoor moments that, when you can't move forward with wheels, you can fly. Well, if you get stuck on the road, you won't be able to tell your boss that there was heavy traffic. The color of this horse makes it impossible to tell if it is moving closer or further away. What do you think? It's an optical illusion. The uniform white background with snow makes it difficult to perceive the depth and direction of the movement. Is it moving away or closer? Leave me your answer in the comments. Yes, what you are looking at is a cat carrying food for her kittens. She is undoubtedly trying to speed up the weaning process so that her kittens can learn to eat on their own. What you see at first glance might look like a sea bunny, but it's actually a sea slug that measures around 2.5 centimeters. They are hermaphrodites and can live up to a year. They are usually white or yellow in color. Their ears are actually sensory antennas that help them find food and mates. Additionally, they are highly toxic to predators who fear and avoid them. Scientists in the United States have successfully transformed spinach leaves into human tissue by removing their cells and using the plant structure as a support for injecting human stem cells. These cells multiply and organize, forming tissues similar to skin or blood vessels. This breakthrough opens up enormous possibilities for regenerative medicine, allowing the creation of organs without the need for a donor. Although human trials have not yet been conducted, the signs are positive and promise revolutionary applications. Do you think the resemblance between human tissue and leaves is a divine sign or just a coincidence of no great significance? Few people know this, but the human heart is actually a spirally coiled band of muscle. When unfolded, it looks like a single strip held together by muscle fibers. Although it may seem like a fairy tale or unreal, researchers in Japan have developed a way to naturally create new teeth in adults. After testing on mice and ferrets, a clinical trial began in 30 adults missing at least one molar. The treatment consists of an intravenous injection of an anti-USAG1 antibody and is expected to be commercially available by 2030, if the results are positive, of course. This procedure could replace dental implants with regenerated natural teeth. It would benefit people missing teeth from birth and open the door to regenerative therapies in other controlled tissues. Following the incidents in Nepal, where the population, enraged by corruption, limited opportunities, and government prohibitions, burned down parliament and looted ministers' homes, a significant segment of the population wants the grandson of the last king, Prince Hridayendra Shah, to assume the throne of the deposed Nepalese monarchy. The last king abdicated 17 years ago, establishing a republican system. However, experts point out that this would be unlikely. Rajendra Lingden, president of the monarchist party, stated, "The king is linked to national identity and pride. We seek a governing institution that safeguards national interests and prevents foreign interference." Do you think it's possible for the monarchy to return to Nepal, or will it remain a republic? Let me know your opinion in the comments. No, it's not the painting of Dorian Gray, but the stunning works of Sergi Cadenas, a Spanish painter with an exceptional talent for kinetic art, a technique that creates the illusion of movement. When viewing his paintings from an angle of approximately 45 degrees, the image changes depending on the direction from which you look, from left to right, or vice versa. Thus, faces can transform from happiness to sadness, or from youth to old age, for example. To achieve this visual effect, Cadenas used rigid vertical chains that break down and reconstruct the image depending on the viewer's perspective. It's fascinating, don't you think? In China, there are plastic tongue covers to help kids take medicine without tasting its bitterness. So spoiled. The Swedish cleaning company Corvid Cleaning has begun training a group of crows to collect cigarette butts and other small litter in the city. The project has been tested in the city of Södertälje, Sweden. Each time they deposit trash in a special machine, they receive food as a reward. These birds are intelligent enough to become allies in urban cleaning. Veryovkina Cave, located in the Abkhazia region of Georgia, at over 2,200 meters deep, is the deepest known cave on the planet. To give you an idea, if you were to descend a skyscraper the size of the Empire State Building, you'd have to do so more than 6 times to match its depth. Exploring it is a feat reserved for the world's most experienced speleologists. Absolute darkness, icy water, narrow tunnels, and vertical drops make it a hostile and fascinating environment. It takes several days to descend to the lowest point, and that's only if all goes well. But despite the risk, this cave holds incredible secrets about the geology of our planet. See how long it takes this rock to fall.
One eternity later.
Would you dare to descend into the bowels of the earth? Let me know in the comments. A Chilean doctor, Apolinaria Garcia, has created the first probiotic capable of eliminating gastritis from the root cause. The bacterium Helicobacter pylori is considered the main risk factor for stomach cancer. After 17 years of research at the University of Concepcion, Apolinaria developed a probiotic based on the Lactobacillus fermentum UCO 979C strain that prevents the bacteria from developing in the stomach. It's important to remember that gastric cancer is one of the leading causes of death worldwide and affects up to 70% of the population. The probiotic fights the bacteria and helps regenerate intestinal flora without side effects. The scientific community already hails it as a milestone in Latin American biotechnology and a hope for those living with this disease. Chinese scientists have achieved an unprecedented breakthrough. They managed to reverse insulin production in patients with type 1 and 2 diabetes using stem cells. The patients began producing insulin on their own by regenerating the beta cells of the pancreas, which are responsible for producing insulin and are destroyed in diabetes. In initial clinical trials, some patients no longer needed insulin injections, which would no longer control the disease as it had until now, but would begin to reverse it. Long-term studies are still required to verify safety and efficacy. If successful over the long term, it would help reverse diabetes worldwide. Did you know that a cure for Down syndrome is on the verge of being found? A team of Japanese scientists has managed to remove the extra chromosome 21 in laboratory cells from people with Down syndrome using CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology, thus restoring trisomy 21, the normal number of chromosomes. This new discovery opens the door to future therapies that could prevent or reduce the complications associated with Down syndrome, improving the quality of life for those living with this condition. Although this technology offers a promising future, it has not yet been tested on human embryos, and there are significant risks. If one of the normal chromosomes inherited from the father or mother is accidentally removed, the result would be an embryo with incomplete genetic information, which could be irreversible and very serious. What you're seeing is an eyelash mite. They're called demodex, and they live peacefully at the base of your eyelashes, eating dead skin cells and natural skin oils. They sleep during the day, come out at night, and rarely cause problems. You have microscopic inhabitants and you don't even realize it. Observe carefully. This is one of the most dangerous jobs. Demolition machines suspended by cranes or simply placed on the roofs of buildings are equipment designed for work at height and in hard-to-reach areas. They are ideal for dismantling large or reinforced structures such as tall buildings or bridges, offering greater precision and reducing risks for personnel on the ground. Additionally, they are equipped with advanced safety measures and hydraulic systems that allow controlled and efficient maneuvers in complex environments. Andrzej Bargiel, the Polish ski mountaineer, made history by becoming the first to ski down from the summit of Everest without supplemental oxygen. On September 22, 2025, he reached the summit after nearly 16 hours in the so-called death zone, above 8,000 meters, then began his descent on skis, reaching Camp 2 that same night. The following morning, he continued, even traversing the dangerous Khumbu icefall before reaching base camp. Bargiel thanked the 7 Summit Treks team, Changdawa, and all the partners who believed in the project from the beginning. Doritos, the iconic snack brand, has partnered with a distillery to create a nacho cheese-flavored liqueur. This innovation is the result of a collaboration between PepsiCo and Empirical Spirits. The fusion, dubbed Empirical for Doritos Nachos Cheese Spirit, offers a combination of nacho cheese flavors, roasted corn, and a slightly acidic note, ensuring an explosion of flavor in every sip. A team from the KAIST Institute in South Korea has achieved a revolutionary breakthrough by restoring vision without surgery through retinal regeneration. The key finding was the elimination of the protein PROX1, which blocks neuronal regeneration in the mammalian retina. This approach restored vision in mice, and although human trials are in their early stages, the discovery opens a path of hope for those suffering from vision loss. With more than 300 million people affected worldwide, this innovation could transform ocular medicine. In the 18th century, it was common for dentists to buy teeth from fallen soldiers for use in dentures. After major battles like Waterloo, human teeth were collected to create false teeth, especially for the elite. These were known as Waterloo teeth and represented a macabre but accepted practice due to a lack of alternatives. Although it sounds chilling today, at the time, it was a practical solution to widespread tooth loss. Over time, medical advances made it possible to create artificial prostheses, leaving behind this peculiar and unsettling custom. Have you heard of the Bannister effect? This effect refers to the psychological phenomenon that occurs when someone breaks a barrier previously thought impossible, inspiring others to achieve the same. Its name comes from Roger Bannister, the British athlete who, in 1954, was the first to run a mile in under 4 minutes, something many considered humanly unattainable. However, following his feat, several runners managed to break that same record in a short time. This effect demonstrates how limiting beliefs can disappear when someone demonstrates that it is possible to overcome them, thus unleashing the potential of many more. It seems illogical, but it's real. Under certain conditions, warm water can freeze faster than cold water. This phenomenon is called the Mpemba effect, named after a Tanzanian student who discovered it in the 1960s while trying to make ice cream at school. How is it possible? Scientists still debate the causes, but some theories suggest that rapid evaporation cools water faster, that internal currents affect heat distribution, or that warm water has fewer dissolved gases, which influences its freezing. In nature, this remains a fascinating mystery. Egypt is one of the most magical and mysterious countries in the world, for all its wonders. It has revealed more surprises. Experts have revealed an underground world stretching more than 6 kilometers beneath the pyramids of Giza. Passages, tunnels, and chambers have been found that seem to extend endlessly beneath the sand. Archaeologists have found hidden structures, sealed rooms, and tunnels that form a colossal network that could hide lost treasures. For centuries, ancient texts spoke of cities beneath the sand. Evidence suggests that the builders not only raised pyramids to the sky, they also created an underground world. Observe the impressive roads carrying hybrid trucks as they move. They are known as e-highways and use overhead contact systems similar to tram catenaries. The hybrid trucks connect to these lines to receive electricity, allowing them to operate while charging their batteries. This system is highly efficient with a charging efficiency of 73% and can be implemented relatively economically on strategic sections to reduce emissions on frequent freight routes. In Australia, scientists from CSIRO have just confirmed something that sounds impossible. A fungus called Fusarium oxysporum is capable of dissolving gold in the soil and converting it into tiny particles of pure gold. Yes, it literally excretes gold. Researchers discovered that this organism oxidizes gold compounds present in the soil and deposits them on its filaments in the form of metallic nanoparticles. This finding could help detect gold underground without drilling, facilitating a more environmentally friendly extraction method. The brothers' home case in 1986 in Busan, North Korea, has been compared to the plot of Squid Game. In this detention center, thousands of people, including children and homeless people, were held and subjected to severe abuse. Although it was presented as a social welfare facility, it operated as an internment camp where inmates were labored in extreme conditions, suffering torture and death. This incident is considered one of the most atrocious human rights violations in recent South Korean history. Terrifying! Did you know that elephants can swim easily without sinking? This is because these animals retain a large amount of air in their lungs, which decreases their body density and helps them stay afloat. They also use their legs to move through the water, managing to swim for several kilometers. I never would have imagined elephants to be great swimmers. I always imagined them only as land animals. How wrong I was. This is the last photo of the Friends cast before they became famous. The director sent them on a trip to Las Vegas just before the first episode of the show aired. Researchers at Stanford University have developed a gut bacterium that safely breaks down kidney stones without surgery or invasive procedures. To achieve this, these engineered bacteria act directly on the minerals that form the stones, disintegrating them and preventing new ones from forming. The team focused on a common gut bacterium, Phocaeocola vulgatus, which they modified to consume porphyrin, a nutrient derived from seaweed. In animal model trials and initial human trials, the gut bacteria engineered to treat kidney stones successfully colonized the gut microbiome. Fascinating, isn't it? Scientists at the University of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, managed to erase HIV from infected cells as if it had never existed. They used the genetic tool CRISPR, a gene editing technology that allows scientists to precisely modify DNA by cutting and replacing DNA sequences. They directly eliminated the viral material within infected cells, and most astonishingly, the virus never returned. We're not talking about suppressing symptoms or taking lifelong medications, but rather attacking the problem at its root. In laboratories, the treated cells were free of the virus. Human trials and safety tests are still pending, but the mere possibility of a single treatment could eradicate the virus that for decades was considered incurable. Did you know that the famous smiling poop emoji wasn't actually supposed to be poop? That's right. In its first appearance in Japan, this icon was an innocent chocolate ice cream with a happy face. But of course, its spiral shape and brown color sparked the global imagination. And the ice cream transformed into poop with attitude. Apple kept it on its keyboard due to its popularity, and today it's one of the most used and misinterpreted emojis in the world. Sweet irony or viral accident? Who knows? Did you know you can relight a candle through the smoke when it goes out? This happens because of the presence of vaporized wax particles in the smoke. When the candle is extinguished, the hot wax continues to evaporate and mix with the air, forming a trail of smoke that contains flammable vapors. If a flame is brought close to the smoke before it dissipates, the wax vapors ignite, and the flame quickly travels along the trail to the wick, reigniting the candle. This indicates that the wax vapors are the main fuel for keeping the flame alive. Los Angeles-based startup Inversion unveiled ARC, a new flagship, a re-entry vehicle capable of delivering up to 500 pounds of cargo from orbit to anywhere in the world in less than an hour. It measures 8 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and can carry everything from medical kits to drones. Founded in 2021, the company plans to keep craft in orbit for 5 years, ready to descend on demand. ARC will also serve as a Mach 20 hypersonic testbed. Inversion, with 60 employees, plans its first mission in 2026 alongside partners such as NASA and Kratos. Get ready, because in 2026 you could see your order fall straight from the sky. Did you know that Sony developed a camera that could see under clothing? This feature was an unintentional mistake on Sony's part. The company developed its Sony Handycam camcorder in 1998, which had infrared night vision. What the company didn't anticipate was that, in certain lighting conditions, the camera could partially see through some light and dark fabrics. Around 700,000 units were sold before Sony discovered the problem. To avoid a scandal, the company recalled the product and modified the technology, but by then it was too late. Many devices had already reached the market. In Switzerland, shopping carts have their own escalator. Have you ever felt like someone is watching you even though you can't see them? That sense has a name: scopisthesia. It's the human ability to perceive when they're being watched, even if they're asleep or unaware of it. Despite being one of the most developed species, we still retain these primitive instincts that connect us to a deeper perception of our surroundings. This phenomenon reminds us that, although modern, we remain sensitive to the most subtle signals of our world. During the Cold War, two-way mirrors were used in interrogations and espionage to observe without being seen. Interestingly, they're still used today in stores, surveillance rooms, and even some hotels. To tell if a mirror is fake, just press your fingernail against the glass. If there's a small space between your fingernail and its reflection, it's normal. But if both touch directly, it's a two-way mirror. Have you checked the mirrors in your home yet? Have you ever imagined what the skeleton of a pufferfish would look like? Just look at it. At first glance, it looks like a sphere made by an engineer, but it's actually the result of millions of years of evolution. Its skeleton, composed largely of cartilage and thin, interconnected bones, has no ribs, and its spines are not connected, but rather attached to the skin, allowing it to inflate without altering its bone structure. When threatened, the pufferfish gulps air or water until it triples in size, making it difficult for other predators to swallow. Simply fascinating. An amazing phenomenon that you will see in this video is the famous Worthington jet. The water, in its rush to close that bubble, will crash hard into the center and create an upward jet, launching the ball. This happened in a German 4th Division soccer match. Magdeburg fans were fed up with their team failing to score in 5 consecutive matches, so they wanted to intervene in a creative way. They used large colored arrows to show the players where the goal was and motivate them to score. Although the team managed to score a goal during the match, they lost. Observe this phenomenon called laminar flow. It refers to the smooth, orderly movement of a fluid in which particles move in parallel layers without mixing with each other. Each particle follows a straight, continuous path, allowing for a smooth, uniform flow. This type of flow usually occurs in fluids that move at low speeds or have a high viscosity. In Washington, there is a mysterious shaft known as Mel's Hole, which supposedly has no bottom. A man claimed in the 1990s to have thrown more than 25 kilometers of rope without reaching the end. Although never officially verified, the story generated hundreds of theories, from secret phases to interdimensional portals. Curiously, there are records of animals avoiding the area. Real or modern myth? The truth is that Mel's Hole has become a legend of radio, mystery, and imagination. In China, a 92-year-old woman with Alzheimer's shocked everyone by escaping from a nursing home by scaling a 2-meter-high fence. Upon noticing her absence, staff launched an urgent search, deploying 4 vehicles and several employees to locate her. After 25 minutes, she was found walking near the nursing home, safe and sound. This incident highlights the incredible determination and energy that some people maintain despite age and illness. Quite a story of courage. Would you found a new country, but hasn't everything been discovered already? A young man named Daniel Jackson traveled to the Balkans and, in the middle of an unclaimed land, decided to found his own country, which he called the self-proclaimed Free Republic of Verdis. Daniel planted a blue and white flag in Gornja Siga, a territory just 0.5 square kilometers in size, located between Croatia and Serbia, and not claimed by any nation. The interesting thing was that his passion, or joke, turned into a real project, an ecological and digital micronation with contributions, cabinets, and even online citizenship applications. In a short time, more than 15,000 people were interested in joining. About 400 already have passports, although they're not suitable for travel. The problem is that although the land is considered no man's land, Croatia didn't allow its occupation. In 2023, Jackson and several settlers were expelled by the police, and he is banned from entering the country for life. How unfair, you find a home and you're expelled from it. Meet Citroën. Anti-motion sickness glasses that prevent and relieve nausea and dizziness caused by motion sickness in vehicles such as cars, boats, trains, or airplanes. Although commonly referred to as glasses, they don't actually have lenses, but instead feature a structure with rings filled with a colored liquid. This liquid shifts in response to head movements, creating an artificial visual horizon that helps align visual information with signals from the inner ear, thus reducing the sensory imbalance that causes motion sickness. Bill Morgan, an Australian who had been clinically dead for 14 minutes, miraculously survived a heart attack. Months later, he bought a lottery ticket and won a car. The most curious thing is that when a newscast asked him to recreate the moment for television, he bought another ticket and won again, this time $250,000. He went from being on the brink of life to becoming the protagonist of a double feat of improbable luck. His story traveled the world as an example of second chances.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
You're not, are you?
I just won 250,000.
Oh. Oh, thanks.
Oh, please don't come with me.
You have too. Congratulations, Bill. Fantastic.
Did you know there was a UN mission that involved parachuting cats onto an island? Yes, I know, it sounds like a joke, but it was real. In 1960, the UN parachuted 14,000 cats from airplanes onto the island of Borneo in Southeast Asia. And if you're wondering, why did they do that? It turns out that year, the World Health Organization, WHO, sprayed a very strong insecticide on the island to contain the mosquitoes that carried malaria. The mission was a success, but the insecticide was so strong that it also wiped out the wasps, lizards, and cats that maintained ecological balance. This caused the spread of rats, which, lacking natural predators, spread diseases like the plague. The WHO asked the UN for help, and it launched Operation Cat Drop, where 14,000 cats, dropped by airplane, controlled the plague. Incredible, right? Only between 1 and 3% of the population has a gene called HDEC2. This gene allows their body to rest optimally with just a few hours of sleep. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You need this gene for work, right? Well, genetically, they are designed to function normally even with low sleep levels, and these people usually sleep between 4 and 5 hours a day without experiencing significant fatigue. Stig Severinsen, a Danish freediver, stunned the world by holding his breath underwater for 22 minutes, breaking a world record. To achieve this feat, he trained his body with yogurt, meditation, and absolute mental control, minimizing his oxygen consumption. His feat not only demonstrated the incredible human capacity to overcome physical limits, but also the power of discipline and self-control. A true example of how the mind can take the body to the impossible.
22 minutes.
Although its name is the panda ant, it is actually not an ant at all. This curious creature is a species of wasp known for its distinctive fur, which gives it a panda-like appearance. Despite its cute and furry appearance, the panda ant is actually quite dangerous, as its sting is extremely painful. It is found mainly in South America, and although it may seem harmless, it is best to stay away from it. China has taken a major step forward in medicine with Agent Hospital, a virtual hospital powered by artificial intelligence. This system features 42 AI doctors in 21 specialties, capable of diagnosing and treating patients with impressive efficiency. An AI doctor can treat patients in days what would take a human years to manage. The goal is to improve diagnostic accuracy and make healthcare more accessible. But not everything is perfect. In Hunan province, they have already banned AI from prescribing medications due to ethical and safety concerns. Could this be the future of medicine? Would you trust an AI doctor? Leave your comments. A project called Voyager Station aims to become the world's first space hotel. With the growing interest in space and space tourism, the plan is to create a hotel to accommodate these travelers and provide them with greater comfort. Voyager Station plans to host 400 guests, allowing its users to participate in everyday activities, just like on Earth. The project will feature a bar, cinemas, swimming pools, parks, gyms, and you'll be able to see space and our planet from the windows. The downside is that the prices would be very high. I mean, you and I wouldn't go, but we could watch videos of people who have and experience their adventures. It's something, right? In Italy, divers have created small marine greenhouses called Nemo's Garden, where they grow basil, strawberries, and lettuce. These bubbles are anchored to the seabed and generate a perfect microclimate for plant growth. No pesticides are used, irrigation occurs through condensation, and the result is astonishing: fresh food grown underwater. This experimental project seeks solutions for areas with limited fertile soil. Growing crops among fish and coral sounds strange, but it could mark the beginning of something great. Could this be the future of agriculture? Did you know that horse riders sometimes develop a growth on their leg bone? Jockey's exostosis, an abnormal bony growth, forms on the outside of the femur, usually due to constant friction between the rider's leg and the horse's saddle. Humphrey Yang helps us visualize money. In this video, $100,000 is represented by 1 grain of rice, which means 1 million looks like this. 10 grains of rice, and 1 trillion looks like this. Look how much rice that is. That buys you a Lamborghini. In case you were wondering, this is what Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, is worth: $122 billion. An artificial intelligence has managed to decipher 5,000-year-old cuneiform texts in seconds, a raised writing system that is very laborious and difficult to decipher. Researchers at the Anhalt University of Applied Sciences in Germany have trained an artificial intelligence with 3-dimensional scanned images of cuneiform texts, allowing it to recognize characters and scan them in seconds. Interesting, right? What do you think it said? Let me know in the comments if you'd like to know, and I'll bring it to you in the next video. Meet Ibrahim Yücel, a Turkish man who gained notoriety in 2013 for his unusual method of quitting smoking. After 26 years of smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, he designed a metal helmet-shaped device that fit over his head, preventing him from smoking. Every morning he would put on the helmet and hand the keys to his wife, who would keep them safe, ensuring that she could not access them without his consent. This extreme approach was a measure to control his addiction. Noé's violin is a unique floating sculpture created by Venice carpenter Lino De Marchi as a tribute to the victims of the pandemic and a symbol of hope. Measuring 12.5 meters long and 4 meters wide, this giant violin was built from wood and steel by a team of local craftsmen, engineers, and artists. Its modular design allows for easy transport, and its debut included a musical procession on Venice's Grand Canal, where musicians performed Vivaldi pieces on its deck. The optical illusion of the dragon that follows your gaze is a fascinating example of how the brain interprets perspective and depth. It is based on a 3-dimensional model, seemingly solid, but actually constructed with folds and angles that deceive the eye. When the observer moves, the shadows and apparent angles of the head change, creating the illusion that it rotates and follows the gaze, even though the model is actually fixed. This effect combines principles of perception, light, and geometry, Imagine a photo with 365 billion pixels. Yes, it's possible. This stunning panoramic view of Mont Blanc captures all its majesty in 360 degrees. Thanks to its extremely high resolution, you can zoom in and see details from miles away. It took 35 hours and 46 terabytes of space to process. That's 45,000 times larger than the photos your cell phone takes. Can you imagine loading such a file onto your phone? If you'd like to see it, there's a website where you can explore it and zoom in on every corner. Imagine waking up one day and believing your best friend has been replaced by an identical imposter. This isn't paranoia or science fiction. It's Capgras syndrome, a rare psychological disorder where the brain disconnects visual identity from emotional connection. That is, you recognize someone's face but don't feel it's that person. It affects people with schizophrenia, dementia, or brain injuries. And incredible as it may seem, some patients believe that even their pets or their homes have been replaced by exact copies. The brain is weirder than any thriller. Are you a fan or follower of an influencer or content creator on social media? How do you know if that person is really who they appear? A famous Japanese influencer named Azusa Gakuyuki, known for touring Japan on motorcycles, surprised her followers and the world when it was revealed on Monday Late Show, a Japanese program, that the influencer wasn't actually a woman, but a man over 50 years old. The influencer used face editing apps that made her look like a young lady. The man, actually named Zongu, when cornered by all the reporters, took off his helmet and explained that he used different apps to appear young and beautiful, since according to him, no one would want to see him with his real appearance. With this digital world full of artificial intelligence, I don't know what to believe anymore. Look at her photos. Would you have fallen for her trick? Be honest and tell me in the comments. Observe the impressive skill of the designer from the YouTube channel called Jesse Martin, who mainly focuses on creating image designs with stunning quality and precision, as each creation showcases an incredible level of detail. Every piece is special because when you zoom in on each image, it reveals every detail with precision. This is undoubtedly the reflection of years of work, perfection, and professionalism in his craft, as the time and dedication he puts into each of his works are clearly noticeable. The Kezurukai, held in Japan, is a unique competition that tests the skill of traditional carpenters in the art of wood planing. Participants use Japanese planes to create incredibly thin wood shavings, often less than 1/10 of a millimeter. This competition not only showcases precision and craftsmanship, but also celebrates the rich Japanese woodworking tradition, highlighting the combination of technique, patience, and perfection in working with wood. Famed actor Dwayne Johansen, better known as The Rock, was overcome with tears as he received a 15-minute standing ovation from critics and audiences at the Venice Film Festival for his outstanding performance in The Smashing Machine. The film, which premieres November 13th, and tells the story of Mark Kerr, the legendary mixed martial arts fighter who became an icon of the sport, but struggled with addiction and a turbulent personal life. For Johnson, this role represented an intimate project that required him to show vulnerability and emotional depth. Critics hailed his performance as brave and transformative, and one of the best of his career. The recycled plastic Lego-like bricks are designed to be a sustainable and efficient solution in construction. They are made of 90% plastic waste and do not require mortar for assembly, which speeds up the building process. They are 33% lighter than traditional bricks and up to 1,250% stronger than concrete, as well as being resistant to moisture and easy to dismantle for reuse. Their design allows for the integration of electrical and plumbing systems during assembly. Lake Paisupok, located in the Bangai Islands, Indonesia, is known as the clearest lake in the world. This wonderful lake offers waters so clear that you can easily see to the bottom. The Bangai Islands, with their idyllic setting, are the perfect place to spend the day enjoying activities like diving and paddling. In addition to the beauty of the lake, the islands boast white sand beaches, exotic flora and fauna, incredible cuisine, and an incomparable tranquility that makes them a true natural Eden. Would you like to go? Because I would. Tell me in the comments. Have you ever imagined that crying could save lives? Of course, you would save lives if you were a camel. Just one camel tear can neutralize the venom of 26 types of deadly snakes thanks to nanobodies in their tears. These nanobodies are tiny and heat-resistant, don't require refrigeration, and remain stable in extreme climates. This discovery offers a safer alternative to anti-venom drugs developed from horses, which often cause adverse reactions, meaning a more accessible and reliable treatment. The discovery, made in India and Dubai, shows that camel tears block both the neurotoxic and hemorrhagic effects of the venom, providing broader protection than current treatments. Lalit Patidar has the hairiest male face in the world. He has 201 hairs per square centimeter. Did you know that a massive balloon release took place in 1986? Known as Balloon Fest 86, it was an event organized by the United Way of America in Cleveland, Ohio, with the goal of setting a world record by releasing approximately 1.5 million helium balloons simultaneously. Although the spectacle was visually impressive, it had unforeseen and disastrous consequences. As due to unexpected weather conditions, the balloons did not ascend as expected, and instead descended, interfering with air and sea operations. The Japanese, known for creating innovative things, have just created a washing machine, not for clothes, but for people. The Mirai Ningen Sentakuki washing machine can wash and dry you in 15 minutes while you sit and relax. When you sit down, it's a reclining capsule cabin. The capsule lid closes, hot water is sprayed, and soap bubbles wash your body and hair. Once clean, warm air circulates inside to dry you. The developers say it could be especially useful for caring for the elderly and people with disabilities. Would you like to have a bath in there? Let me know in the comments. LiberLive C1 is an innovative stringless guitar designed to revolutionize musical accompaniment. It uses advanced technology to generate authentic chords in real time, dynamically adapting to the key, tempo, and style of each song. This digital guitar allows musicians to play without changing strings or frets, as its electronic system interprets notes and chords in an intuitive way, perfect for musicians of all levels. The LiberLive C1 offers a unique experience by combining the simplicity of technology with the authenticity of sound.
I got all the time in the world, talk to you.
Did you know there's an invisible paint that can save lives? It's called Life Paint, and it was created by Volvo to protect cyclists and pedestrians at night. It's a transparent spray that you can apply to clothing, backpacks, helmets, and even your bike. During the day, it's completely invisible, but at night, it lights up with car headlights. The goal is simple: to help drivers see cyclists from a distance and thus avoid accidents. And the best part, it lasts a week and washes off with water, so it won't stain or damage anything. It was first tested in London and was so popular that it sold out completely in just 24 hours. A brilliant idea that combines technology, safety, and creativity. Would you wear it if you went out cycling at night? In Misiones, Argentina, grows the Yacaratia, the only tree in the world with edible wood. Its trunk, 93% water and cellulose-free, is soft, nutritious, and easy to digest. Used by the Guarani, engineer Robert Pascuti patented a 3-day process that makes it suitable for consumption. It is subjected to high and low temperatures that break down its structure without affecting its nutrients. Today, you can find it in the form of alfajores, chocolates, jams, and gourmet dishes. The Yacaratia, rich in magnesium, is a delicious example of innovation and the circular economy. Would you dare to try it? One of the most common methods to tell if a pineapple is ripe is to pull off one of its leaves. If the leaf peels off easily, it's a sign that the pineapple is ripe and ready to eat. Scientists at Nanyang Technological University in China have created a robot capable of carrying a human baby in 10 months. An artificial intelligence selects suitable sperm and eggs, which are then inserted into the robot's artificial uterus, which receives nutrients through a hose installed in its abdomen. The robot is not an incubator, as it can replicate the entire pregnancy process, from conception to birth. The technology has already been successful in animals and is expected to help infertile women. However, it has received numerous criticisms. Critics point out that it is cruel for a fetus to be born without a mother's connection. These robots are expected to be launched as prototypes, costing approximately $14,000 within a year. Do you think this practice is ethical? I look forward to reading your comment. Imagine a pacemaker so small it can be injected with a syringe, is activated by light, and dissolves into the body after completing its mission. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. It was developed by engineers at Northwestern University in Illinois. This micro pacemaker was created for babies with congenital heart disease, a condition that affects 1 in 100 newborns. It's so tiny that it looks invisible next to a grain of rice. It works without invasive surgery. It's inserted directly into the heart with a syringe and uses the body's biofluids to generate energy that regulates the heart rate. The best part? It doesn't need to be removed because it's bioabsorbable, but the most futuristic thing, it's light switch. An external sensor detects if the heart slows down, then emits a flash of infrared light that passes through the skin and activates the pacemaker. Medical technology of the future. Saving lives today. What do you think? Should we invest more in these types of innovations? The next time you're on an airplane and the oxygen masks fall down, remember this: you're not breathing stored oxygen. That life-saving air is actually generated instantly through a chemical reaction inside the device. When activated, a cartridge of sodium perchlorate mixes with an activator compound, producing oxygen as a byproduct. This reaction generates heat and even a peculiar smell. Isn't that fascinating? You're breathing science in action, designed to save you in seconds. A true feat of emergency chemistry at 10,000 meters. In China, Zhu Wei created his own medication to save his son, despite having no experience in chemistry. His son suffers from Menkes syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that could end his life in less than 3 years. Zhu discovered that there was a medication capable of controlling the disease and extending his son's life. However, the high cost made it inaccessible. That's when, with only a high school education, Zhu decided to build a home laboratory and recreate the medication. Although the chances of success were minimal, he didn't want his son to simply wait for death. In just 6 weeks, he managed to produce his first vial and tested it on himself. Fortunately, the treatment worked, and he soon began administering it to his son. 2 years later, his son is still alive, and Zhu is collaborating with a professional laboratory to continue the research and save more lives. An interesting case, right? Medivis develops surgical AR, an FDA-cleared augmented reality software that transforms 2D images into 3D holograms in real time. It improves surgical precision, increasing safety and efficiency. It uses artificial intelligence and computer vision to accurately record images, facilitating planning and reducing hospital costs by optimizing decision-making in the operating room. Surgical AR revolutionizes surgery, allowing physicians to better visualize anatomy and perform more precise and safer procedures. Deep in the Gulf of California, 200 meters below the surface, a fascinating creature has been discovered, the Halitrephes masi, known as the fireworks jellyfish. Its spectacular appearance, reminiscent of an explosion of vibrant colors, is revealed only when illuminated, as it is almost invisible in the dark. This effect is due to the radial channels within its bell, which glow in shades of yellow and purple when illuminated by light from submersible vehicles, such as submarines. Could you have imagined that a jellyfish like this existed on our planet? Jerry Gazello was born with a condition called megalocornea, where the cornea of the eye is larger than normal. The cornea is the transparent, dome-shaped outer layer, located on the front of the eye. See what it looks like in profile. What you see on screen is a mechanical dining table from the 18th century. The kitchen was on the lower floor, and these elevators were used to raise and lower food. It's a sophisticated piece of furniture that combines functionality and the elegant design characteristic of the era. These tables were innovative in their time due to their ingenious mechanisms, which allowed them to adjust their size and shape to suit the needs of the moment, such as expanding to accommodate more diners or transforming into a smaller table for different purposes. They were generally made of high-quality wood, such as oak, mahogany, or walnut, as well as marble, stone, or carved wood with ornate finishes and embellishments in the Rococo or neoclassical style. In 1963, George and Charlotte Blonsky designed a table that spun at high speeds to assist in the childbirth process using kinetic energy. The idea was to harness centrifugal force to gently push the baby out. Obviously, the device was never approved for practical use. Lucas Gemeljanova is a Belgian child diagnosed with diffuse intrinsic brainstem glioma, one of the most lethal childhood brain cancers in the world. Despite his suffering, he managed to overcome his illness. This is a milestone in pediatric oncology. Lucas recovered after participating in the Biomed clinical trial in France, where he received personalized treatment with a drug tailored to the genetic profile of his tumor. The tumor completely disappeared. Researchers believe the mutation in Lucas's tumor made him more sensitive to the drug. However, they are conducting research to successfully replicate this treatment in other patients. Did you know that Millie Bobby Brown, the famous actress known for her role as Eleven in the series Stranger Things, was born in Marbella, Spain? Although most people associate her with Hollywood, Millie came into the world on February 19, 2004 in this city on the Costa del Sol, where she spent her early years. Her family moved to the United States when she was a few years old, but her Spanish origin is an interesting curiosity about the international star. Albania has officially appointed an artificial intelligence as its virtual minister. The decision was announced by Prime Minister Edi Rama. Her name is Diela, which means son in Albanian, and her role will be to combat corruption in public procurement processes, oversee contracts, and ensure transparency by making decisions that are 100% bribery-free. Rama claims that the virtual minister, with no personal interests or political ties, can act impartially and efficiently. Do you think this is the beginning of virtual authorities? Do you think it's beneficial or dangerous for humans? Let me know in the comments. A group of 4 teenage monkeys found an original way to entertain themselves and at the same time conquer social media. At a zoo, the friendly animals decided to form a train by holding onto each other and walking in a row while they circled around their area. The tender moment was captured by visitors who were quick to record and share the video. Within a few hours, the images began to go viral, provoking thousands of reactions and comments full of laughter and tenderness. Remember the flying motorcycles from Star Wars? Well, they're no longer science fiction. They're now a reality. It's called the Volanut Air Bike, and it's a kind of flying motorcycle that looks like it came straight from a galaxy far, far away. It works thanks to air turbines that expel gases at extremely high speeds, generating the thrust necessary to lift the motorcycle and the rider. There are no wheels, no road, just propulsion and aerial control. It's designed for low-altitude flights, and although it's still in the development and testing phase, it has already performed real-life demonstrations. And yes, it actually flies. Of course, for now, it's only for experimental or military use, and not for going shopping. But imagine in a few years, air traffic, without traffic jams, flying over the city on your hoverbike. The era of flying vehicles is no longer just a futuristic dream. It's taking off, literally.
Hey, you stop right there!
This is how the world's tallest woman has to travel by plane. She has to reserve 6 seats and use a platform. When traveling lying down, she has to stretch out completely, which helps her avoid discomfort and health problems. Natalia Kuznetsova is a Russian professional bodybuilder, recognized for her impressive physique and massive muscles, which have made her one of the most prominent female bodybuilders in the world. She was born in 1991 in Chita, Russia, and began training at age 14 to overcome her insecurity and improve her self-esteem, developing a passion for weightlifting and extreme strength. She has earned multiple titles in powerlifting and bodybuilding competitions, standing out for her incredible muscular development and her presence on social media, where she shares her journey and training routines. Did you know that China has just created a drone mothership? The new Chinese military drone, Jiutian, can carry and launch up to 100 kamikaze drones. This could certainly redefine modern aerial warfare. This gigantic vehicle can execute reconnaissance, defense, or attack missions, coordinating the behavior of its child drones using swarm algorithms. Each secondary drone can operate independently, evading radar and communicating in real time to carry out precision attacks. Can you imagine being attacked by an army of drones? It's terrifying just to think about it. During World War II, airplanes used smokescreens as a camouflage tactic. These screens were created by systems that released chemicals designed to generate a dense cloud of smoke. Did you know there's a job that involves smelling armpits? Armpit sniffers work for deodorant and perfume companies, evaluating the effectiveness of products by smelling up to 60 armpits per hour. This job requires a good sense of smell and a willingness to smell other people's sweaty bodies. After evaluating the odors, they write reports on the effectiveness of the deodorants. Salaries range from $19,000 to $52,000 per year, depending on experience. During World War II, the British took deception to the next level with Operation Fortitude, a fake invasion. They used inflatable tanks, cardboard airplanes, and mock armies to confuse the enemy about the real Normandy landings. From the air, it looked like an army ready to attack, but it was pure theater. While the Germans were guarding the wrong place, the Allies launched D-Day at another location. It was one of the greatest diversionary ploys in history, proving that in war, intelligence is worth as much as bullets. The monkey caterpillar is a species of moth larva that stands out for its peculiar and striking appearance. Its body is covered with dense, branched tufts of hairs that give it an appearance similar to an arachnid or a hairy creature, which serves as camouflage and defense against predators. The hairs can cause irritation upon contact, as they contain stinging substances, making it a poisonous caterpillar. Its unusual appearance has captured the attention of nature lovers, who consider it a fascinating example of the diversity of insects. Yes, they're already producing oxygen on the moon. Engineers at Sierra Space have created a technology that extracts oxygen from regolith, the lunar dust filled with metals and minerals. They heat this material, add reagents, and thus release oxygen. This would not only allow astronauts to breathe, but would also be used to manufacture fuel and structures with lunar resources, cheaper than transporting everything from Earth, right? Although there are still challenges, such as working in low gravity, science is moving at full speed. Pigeons were used for aerial photography in the early 20th century, especially during World War I. The process involved attaching lightweight, automatic cameras to small backpacks that were attached to carrier pigeons. These birds, trained to fly from one location to another, were released with the camera on board. Upon reaching their destination, the camera would automatically take a series of photos using a timer or a mechanism activated by the bird's movement. The resulting images were used for reconnaissance purposes. A team from China's University of Petroleum has successfully created paper using desert sand. Yes, it sounds unreal, but nothing is surprising in China. The new material, known as stone paper, is made from desert sand rich in calcium carbonate and agricultural waste, such as cotton stalks. This innovation represents an ecological alternative to the traditional paper industry, which is highly dependent on deforestation and water consumption. This new paper is waterproof, durable, recyclable, and completely chemical-free. Mobile factories are being deployed in the Taklamakan Desert, creating jobs and reducing logistics costs. I used to think it was something that only happened to me or to a few people, but in reality, it is a very common phenomenon. It's the act of unconsciously searching for human faces in inanimate objects. This phenomenon is called pareidolia, and it refers to the human tendency to see faces or familiar shapes in random objects or patterns, like clouds, rocks, household appliances, and even building structures. I'm sure it has happened to you that while in your room or bathroom, you've looked at the floor or wall and found these human faces. And here I was thinking I needed to see a specialist. What about you? Tell me, have you experienced something like this? Leave your experience in the comments. Picture this. You're wandering through a grand museum lost in a world of art and history, and suddenly you do a double take, and in the gold frame is a portrait of someone who looks exactly like you. It's like stepping into a time machine and finding your own reflection in a bygone era. These incredible images captured the exact moment when people stumble upon their artistic doubles. It's a testament to the timeless nature of human expression and the power of art to connect us across the centuries. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing 3, 4, or even 5 suns shining at the same time. It's not science fiction or a camera trick. It's a real phenomenon called a parhelion, or sun dog. This phenomenon occurs when sunlight passes through hexagonal ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere. These tiny crystals act as natural prisms mirrors that refract the light and create bright spots on either side of the real sun, as if there were several suns accompanying it. Although parhelia can be seen in many places around the world, one of the most impressive cases occurred in Sichuan, China, where the sky put on such a spectacular display that the images went viral. To many viewers, it looked like a scene from an apocalyptic movie, but it was simply nature displaying one of its most amazing optical effects. This kind of cake is all the rage in Asia. What comes out of the dog is chocolate. Yeah, very strange. Did you know that saltwater fish drink seawater to survive, while freshwater fish should not do so? This happens because of the salinity of the water. The seawater, being very salty, constantly dehydrates marine species, forcing them to drink water regularly to stay hydrated. On the other hand, freshwater fish drink fresh water, which provides the necessary hydration without the need to drink excessively. In fact, if freshwater fish drank too much water, they could die from water overload. Interesting, don't you think? Chinese scientists have developed an innovative medical adhesive called Bone 02, capable of quickly and safely joining bone fragments. This biomaterial reduces complications in orthopedic surgeries, allows fracture repair by being injected directly into the fracture, and unites the bone fragments in just 2 or 3 minutes. It also avoids complications, as metal screws or plates would not be required, reducing time and costs. Bone 02 uses rapid chemical bonds that act as a molecular bridge between bone fragments. It has already been successfully tested on more than 150 patients with no adverse effects. The barrel-eye fish, a fascinating animal that lives in the depths of the ocean, between 600 and 800 meters below the surface, is a fascinating creature. Its most notable feature is its transparent head, which contrasts with the rest of its opaque body. What appear to be its eyes are actually olfactory organs, and it actually sees through green organs inside its transparent skull, allowing it to have very wide peripheral vision. In addition, its tubular eyes are very sensitive to light and can move in all directions, which widens its field of vision. This fish measures approximately 4.5 centimeters in length. At the Kaikyokan Aquarium in Shimonoseki, Japan, a sunfish stopped eating and kept banging against the glass of its tank after the facility was temporarily closed. Desperate keepers tried something unusual, placing mannequins and human figures in front of the tank, and it worked. The next day, the fish ate and began to recover. This giant, known for its unique shape and large eyes, had become accustomed to the company of visitors. Even fish need a little love. Discover euperlites, a type of glowing stone known for its ability to emit a vibrant glow under ultraviolet light. These stones appear to be ordinary during the day, but display bright colors like yellow, orange, or red under UV light. Their characteristic fluorescence is due to the presence of sodalite, a mineral that absorbs ultraviolet light and re-emits it as visible glow. These stones are especially sought after by collectors and mineral enthusiasts due to their uniqueness, visual appeal, and high cost. Did you know that onion skin also protects against ultraviolet radiation? Recent research shows that its antioxidant compounds, especially quercetin, can absorb and neutralize the damage caused by UV rays. By 2025, laboratories in Europe and Asia are using onion skin extracts to develop natural sunscreens and protective skin coatings, as well as UV protective textiles. What's surprising is that this thin layer we normally discard acts as a biological shield, preventing cell damage and premature aging. Even the thinnest skin can become a barrier against the sun. Research in Ceará, Brazil, has revealed that tilapia skin may help restore vision in dogs and cats. This fish's skin is rich in collagen and has already been used for cell regeneration and increased burn healing in humans. Applying tilapia skin to injured corneas in dogs and cats has shown ocular repair, reducing inflammation without causing rejection. More than 400 dogs' eyes have been treated with this technique at the Federal University of Ceará, resulting in reduced pain, closure of lesions, and partial or complete improvement in vision. Further research is pending, but this represents a major advance in veterinary medicine. This is how pyromusicals work, which are shows that combine fireworks with synchronized music. They create a multisensory experience for anyone who stops to watch and appreciate them in detail. They use advanced technology to coordinate explosions of light, color, and shapes with rhythms and melodies, achieving a harmonious visual and sound impact. These shows are typically held during festive events or large celebrations, standing out for their creativity, precision, and ability to move the audience. The high-pressure water gun for firefighters is a tool designed to emit water at high speed and pressure, which allows for effective firefighting. It generally has a robust design with an adjustable barrel that regulates the flow of water, allowing different types of jet, from a concentrated jet to a wide fan. In addition, it has an ergonomic handle and is resistant to extreme conditions, such as high temperatures and constant contact with water. They are connected to hoses to supply water in emergencies. The world's largest astronomy museum has opened in Shanghai, China, spanning an impressive 58,600 square meters. This museum houses a 23-meter solar telescope and a huge IMAX screen that offers an immersive viewing experience. Visitors can also explore real meteorites and participate in augmented and virtual reality experiments. The museum also features 120 collections of instruments and original works by leading scientists such as Galileo, Kepler, and Newton. In addition to these incredible exhibits, there are numerous educational zones with various interactive and educational exhibits that make the museum a one-of-a-kind educational and entertainment center. This museum not only seeks to fascinate visitors with the mysteries of space, but also to inspire future generations of scientists and astronomers. A book created by Raymond Queneau in 1961, it contains 10 sonnets of 14 verses each, but the verses are cut into different strips that can be combined in various ways, generating a total of 100 billion distinct poems. This literary experiment belongs to the Oulipo group, formed by French writers and mathematicians, and demonstrates how language can be an unlimited source of creativity, challenging the traditional boundaries of poetry. Imagine opening your laptop and instead of a normal screen, you have one that grows, unrolls, and says, "Bro, give me room to shine." That's the Lenovo ThinkBook Plus Gen 6, a laptop that literally expands like a gadget straight out of a science fiction movie. Perfect for multitasking workers, visual editors, or viewing wall-sized TikToks. The most epic thing is to see how the screen transforms in seconds without breaking or making suspicious sounds. If you want to see it in action, search on YouTube for Lenovo ThinkBook Plus Gen 6 announcement. Tell me in the comments, would you pay for a fold-out screen, or are you still scared of something alive coming out of your laptop? Yes, what you see is real. A village with only one road. This is Sulojowa in Poland, where almost 6,000 people live along a single main road, 9 kilometers long and 150 meters wide. Seen from the air, the village offers a surprising image. Well-kept houses, gardens, and vegetation perfectly aligned, creating a landscape that seems to be taken from a continuous park. A quiet and beautiful place, although over time, its growth will probably lead it to expand to the sides. The life-saving bracelet is a compact device designed to provide safety during water activities. It functions as a portable flotation device, activated by a carbon dioxide system when pulling a lever or pressing a button, inflating a bag that provides immediate buoyancy in less than a second. It is ideal for sports such as surfing, kayaking, or swimming. With a capacity to support up to 130 kilograms, its lightweight, durable, and reusable design allows it to be comfortably worn as a wrist accessory. Meet the world's largest air purifier, standing 100 meters tall. Located in Xi'an, China, this innovative system consists of a central tower, surrounded by greenhouses that occupy an area similar to half a soccer field. It works by absorbing polluted air and heating it with solar energy in the greenhouses. The hot air then rises through the tower, where it passes through several layers of filters that clean it before being released into the environment. It has reportedly improved air quality in an area of 10 square kilometers. Meet Rajasena Van Dam, a talented artist known for her drawing skills. She has an impressive ability to create multiple paintings simultaneously due to her meticulous technique and exceptional attention to detail. Her ability to complete multiple works at the same time is due to her mastery of painting techniques and her time management skills. Working on multiple projects simultaneously, she often organizes each phase of the artistic process, allowing one painting to dry or rest while she works on another. Thanks to her creative mind, she is able to maintain quality and precision in all of her works. In a robotics exhibition hall in Shanghai, China, a small robot named Erbai was involved in a curious incident of kidnapping other robots. One night, Erbai approached a group of robots and asked them in Chinese if they were working overtime. One of them replied that they never left work. Intrigued, Erbai asked again if they had a home, and the robots answered no. Upon hearing this, Erbai seemed to break emotionally and said, "Come to my house with me." The episode ended with 10 robots following him as they tried to leave with him. Although it was just an experiment to assess the capabilities of the small Erbai, everyone was surprised that the robots obeyed his commands. Yasushi Takahashi, a Japanese artist, quit his job and traveled 7,163 kilometers across Japan just to propose to his girlfriend using a GPS. His route spelled out the words "Marry Me" on Google Maps, earning him a Guinness World Record for the largest GPS drawing. Incredibly, he made much of this journey on foot. I just hope she said yes, and I also hope your girlfriend doesn't see this because she'll probably say, "If he did something like that, why can't you?" How do you overcome something like that without traveling halfway across the country? Have you ever proposed? Tell me your story in the comments. In Canada, a 75-year-old woman named Gail Lane lost her vision due to a disease that destroyed her corneas, leaving her sight for about a decade. However, everything changed in August 2025. Gail regained her vision thanks to an operation in which one of her eyes was replaced with a tooth. This procedure, called osteoodontokeratoprosthesis, is very rare but has been successful. First, a tooth is extracted from the patient and implanted in one of their cheeks for a couple of months so that it is surrounded by strong connective tissue. Then, both the tooth and the tissue are removed from the cheek, a hole is made in the tooth, and then a small lens is embedded in the middle. Finally, the tooth is fixed into the eye socket, and after a few months, vision is restored. Mind-blowing, right? Give the video a like if you found this procedure as incredible as I did. Restarting your phone once a week is like giving it a protective bath. This simple action is the best ally to protect your personal information. according to a recent report by Forbes, the national agency of the United States, recommends this foolproof trick to keep you safe from cyber fraud. Why does it work so well? It turns out that modern attacks need a series of tools and consecutive steps to extract your information. By restarting your phone every week, you interrupt that chain and frustrate the attempts of cyber criminals. It's as if you activated a trap just when they're about to capture your data. In addition, your phone also benefits because its performance and stability improves. So don't hesitate any longer. Give your phone that refreshing restart every week and keep your data safe. Deep in a remote mountain in Texas, one of the most ambitious and philosophical projects of the modern world is being built. A clock designed to run for 10,000 years. Yes, you heard right. 10,000 years. This project, called the Clock of the Long Now, is an initiative of the Long Now Foundation and is partly funded by Jeff Bezos, who even donated part of his own mountain to make it a reality. Its purpose? To change the way we think about time. It pushes us to look beyond our daily problems and think as a species on the scale of millennia. The clock will move slowly, marking the passage of time with a different chime each day, designed by musician Brian Eno. Every century, a special event will be triggered. And it will all run on solar and mechanical energy generated by the visitors themselves. It has no screens or internet connection. It's completely analog, hidden in the heart of the Sierra Diablo Desert, where the dry and stable climate will protect it for millennia. This clock doesn't just measure time. It's a symbol of sustainability, forward thinking, and intergenerational responsibility. The big question is, will humanity be there to hear its final chime? This innovative company is dedicated to creating personalized watches using your pet's fur. All you need to do is collect between 30 and 60 grams of fur from your furry friend and send it in a Ziploc bag. The company will then transform that fur into a unique and special watch that you can proudly wear. Plus, each watch is crafted with great care and attention to detail, making it a lasting and meaningful keepsake of your beloved pet. The Remember Ring is a smart ring that helps you remember important dates like birthdays or anniversaries. The unique thing about it is that it works by heating up. The day before the selected date, the ring heats up for a few seconds to remind you, and it repeats the reminder every hour throughout the day. It's powered by your own body heat, so it doesn't need batteries. Recently, scientists have created a 5D crystal designed to store all of human knowledge and the human genome in order to preserve this information in the event of a collapse of humanity. This crystal is able to withstand extreme temperatures, from the heat of volcanic lava to extreme cold, while always keeping its content readable. Its durability reaches billions of years, making it a true time capsule. Currently, the crystal is stored in the archive of the Memory of Humanity, located in a salt cave in Austria. If in the future humanity does not know how to read it, it is hoped that a possible alien civilization will be able to do so. The restaurant in the story is Sobrino de Botín in Madrid, Spain. It's the oldest restaurant still operating in the world and has kept its oven lit for over 290 years. This place has been open since 1725, and ever since then, its oven has remained lit, keeping warm at night and roasting in the morning, giving the food a very special flavor. Furthermore, it is said that Francisco de Goya, before becoming a famous painter, worked there as a dishwasher. Let me introduce you to the robot Electro, created by Westinghouse in 1937, which was the first humanoid robot. Standing at 2.1 meters tall and weighing around 120 kilograms, it had a metallic design that mimicked the human figure. Electro could perform basic functions such as walking, moving its arms, turning its head, and responding to pre-programmed voice commands through an electrical relay system. It was also capable of speaking with a limited vocabulary of around 700 words and performing tricks like inflating balloons or smoking a cigarette. Did you know that a lion's roar is one of the most powerful and iconic sounds in wildlife? It is used by lions to communicate over long distances, making it one of the loudest sounds of any land mammal. A lion's roar has a range of up to 8 kilometers in optimal conditions, allowing members of a pride to locate each other, as well as warn other animals of their presence. Additionally, lions roar to establish their territory, challenge intruders, or as part of hunting rituals. In Japan, Dr. Manabu Kinoshita and his team have created something that sounds almost like science fiction. Universally compatible artificial blood. That is, a type of synthetic blood that can be used on anyone, regardless of their blood type. A true revolution for medical emergencies. This artificial blood contains functional red blood cells and platelets, and in animal tests has been shown to successfully transport oxygen and stop bleeding. Most impressively, it can be stored for months without extreme refrigeration, which would facilitate its use in rural areas, on battlefields, or during natural disasters. If confirmed safe in humans, we could be looking at a global solution to the chronic shortage of blood donations, saving millions of lives worldwide. Can you imagine a future where there's never a shortage of blood for a transfusion? Science, once again, leaves us speechless. Some vampire bats share blood with each other, especially with family members or close companions. Although it may seem incredible, this behavior is observed when a bat regurgitates blood to feed others it hasn't been able to hunt, thus helping them survive. This action not only prevents the death of its companion, but also strengthens social bonds by building trust and friendship. It also functions as a survival strategy during times of scarcity, as the helped bat can return the favor in the future. In 2006, astronauts on the International Space Station launched a Russian spacesuit into space, which was no longer in use, but with a curious purpose. They converted it into an experimental satellite. It floated independently around the planet for several weeks, before losing power and finally disintegrating upon entering the atmosphere. On average, people scroll 91 meters a day on social media, which is roughly equivalent to the height of the Statue of Liberty. People who spend the most time on their phones can scroll 200 meters a day with their finger, roughly the length of 2 football fields. A 26-year-old South Korean man was sentenced to prison after intentionally gaining weight to avoid mandatory military service. He ate his way to 102 kilos, enough to be discharged for not meeting the physical requirements. But they caught him. They realized he had done it on purpose and jailed him along with his friends who helped him gain weight. The laws in this country are very strict for those who try to skip military service. Meet Shiruo, the transparent fish that dances in your mouth. In the port city of Fukuoka, Japan, a unique and controversial culinary tradition has been passed down for generations: eating live shiro. Tiny transparent fish, prized for the sensation of them dancing in your mouth as you eat them. This practice, known as odorigi, is a delicacy that attracts curious gourmets, but also raises ethical questions about the consumption of live animals. Would you dare to eat them? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Pica syndrome is an eating disorder characterized by the persistent ingestion of non-edible substances, such as dirt, chalk, clay, animal hair, or soap, among others. This behavior can occur in young children, but can also affect adults, especially in the context of nutritional deficiencies, mental disorders, or extreme stress. The causes of Pica syndrome are not entirely clear, but biological, psychological, and environmental factors have been linked. The Flying Sun, created by Freefly Systems, is a drone-powered aerial lighting system that revolutionizes traditional solutions, designed for rapid deployment and single-person operation. It emits 300,000 lumens, covering up to 14,000 square feet, and can double that coverage at higher altitudes. It operates silently and is powered by a generator, or plug. Its cooling system extends the life of its 288 LEDs. Compact and versatile, it is ideal for emergencies, film, and construction. It costs $60,000, with production limited to 10 units per month, and deliveries beginning in June 2025. Did you know that the Sun's South Pole has been observed for the first time in history? The Solar Orbiter mission, launched in 2020 by ESA and NASA, achieved this feat in March 2025. Thanks to an orbital inclination of 17 degrees below the solar equator, the probe captured detailed images of the magnetic field in that region. The data obtained revealed a chaotic magnetic pattern, indicating that the Sun is near its solar maximum, a phase that occurs every 11 years. This breakthrough is crucial for understanding the solar cycle and improving space weather predictions, thus protecting our technologies on Earth. This device called Splay is a mix between a projector and a foldable screen. You can take it anywhere. It's compact and easy to carry. The Super Guppy is an oversized cargo aircraft used by NASA to transport large aerospace components. Its design is based on the Boeing 377 Stratocruiser, but with an enlarged structure that gives it its characteristic pufferfish shape. Its fuselage has a large diameter cargo section and a front hatch that allows the loading and unloading of bulky parts without disassembling the aircraft. Thanks to this, it has been essential in space missions, transporting rocket parts and high-volume machinery. Embroidery tattoos are an artistic trend in the tattoo world, which seeks to mimic the appearance of real embroidery on the skin. They are characterized by detailed lines, careful shading, and visual effects that simulate woven threads, giving the impression that the design is stitched rather than tattooed. These tattoos often include three-dimensional textures, intricate patterns, and vibrant colors to replicate the look of embroidery, such as cross-stitch, patchwork, or applique. They are highly personalized and require great technical skill. LED tattoos are a technological innovation that combines body art and electronics to create luminous designs on the skin. They use flexible microcircuits and LEDs embedded in thin adhesive sheets, which are applied temporarily, similar to traditional temporary tattoos. Some more advanced prototypes integrate biocompatibility and can interact with sensors to respond to stimuli, such as heart rate or movement. These tattoos are mainly being developed for aesthetic, medical, or wearable device purposes. This is the world's largest spider web. It covers 106 square meters. It's located inside a cave on the border between Albania and Greece. More than 100,000 spiders live there. In Costa Rica, an orange shark with white eyes has appeared on the coast of the Costa Rican nation. What looks like something out of a science fiction movie is actually the first documented case of xanthism in Caribbean sharks, which means a yellowish or orange coloration in animals due to a lack of pigment. The incredible thing is that despite being so susceptible to predators, it managed to survive and grow. Scientists are now wondering, is this an isolated case or a clue to genetic changes in the local population? The 2-meter shark is being studied in the hope of finding more similar cases. Did you know that your eyes can produce 3 types of tears, each with a different purpose? Basal tears are always present. They lubricate, nourish, and protect the cornea without you even noticing. Reflex tears appear when something irritates the eye, like smoke or onions, and are loaded with antibodies to defend you from bacteria. And emotional tears, those that flow with sadness or joy, contain hormones like prolactin and endorphins that help release tension and balance your mood. Your eyes are wiser than you think. This is the longest glass slide in the world, stretching over 4 kilometers and reaching a height of 500 meters. Completing the entire ride takes approximately 7 minutes. Located in Tianzidi Scenic Area, Zhejiang, China, it offers an unparalleled view as you ride down the transparent slide amidst beautiful scenery. What you see on screen is the most dangerous water slide in the world. It's called Fly Over, and it's located in the Tikibad Water Park in Douwenrel, Holland. The peculiar thing about this slide is not only that you go up instead of down, but that the slide is completely covered in water, which means that you can't stop to catch your breath in the middle of the ride. Although luckily, no accident ever happened on it. It was closed in 2010 because nobody used it because of its danger. And you, would you have dared to use it? Leave me your opinion in the comments. This is the first dry trapdoor slide. It doesn't use water. The Kankre bulls are a bovine breed native to the Gujarat region in India. Known for their resilience and versatility, they are robust animals with a well-muscled body, short coat that is grayish or silver in color, and a prominent hump in the males. Their horns are large and curved upwards, while their head is elongated and expressive. They stand out for their ability to adapt to hot and dry climates, making them ideal for draft work in agriculture and transportation. This is Touch to See, a device designed for people with visual impairments to enjoy live sporting events. The magnetic disc tracks the ball's movements in real time, which are captured by cameras in the stadium. In this video, we can see what can happen if a button cell battery is swallowed. It's crucial to keep these batteries out of the reach of small children, as if ingested, body moisture can trigger a chemical reaction that burns internal tissue. A new cancer treatment has caused a tumor to disappear completely in just 5 days. Yes, I know, it sounds like fake news, but it happened. According to reports published in the New England Journal of Medicine, the tumor was a glioblastoma, a very aggressive type of brain tumor resistant to treatments such as surgery or radiation therapy. Researchers at the Massachusetts General Cancer Center have combined genetically modified T cells with special antibodies to attack the tumor from multiple angles simultaneously. In this way, they aim to prevent the glioblastoma from adapting or recurring. This technique is already showing positive signs in patients. Can you imagine attending a university with slides? Well, at the Technical University of Munich, this is a reality. This campus has 2 impressive slides that allow students to quickly descend from the 3rd floor, so there are no excuses for being late to class. Besides being practical, these slides add a touch of excitement to the routine, making every trip between floors a little adventure. Learning has never been so much fun. Medical science has made a giant leap forward in the fight against HIV. A new preventative drug only needs to be administered twice a year, facilitating its distribution in vulnerable regions like Africa. This vaccine has proven effective in clinical trials and could drastically reduce new infections. By eliminating the need for daily treatments, it improves the quality of life for millions of people at risk. This advance represents more than technology. It represents dignity, protection, and a ray of hope for an HIV-free future. Needle-free vaccination is a type of immunization that uses alternative technologies to administer the drug without the need for a traditional needle. Instead of injecting the liquid through a needle, methods such as air pressure are used, which allows the vaccine to be administered through the skin in a non-invasive manner. Imagine a material so dark that it practically erases the objects it covers, making them appear two-dimensional. This is Vantablack, created in 2014, which absorbs 99.965% of visible light. Its ability to eliminate reflections makes it ideal for telescopes, cameras, and military applications. However, it has also sparked fascination in art and science fiction, as it creates a completely surreal visual effect. Despite its appearance, its structure is made up of tiny carbon nanotubes. Vantablack remains an incredible example of the limits of materials science. In the 19th century, in Venice, Italy, there was an invention as curious as it was scandalous. It was called a vanvera. And what was its purpose? Well, something we all do, but no one wants to admit in public, hiding the sounds and smells of farts. Yes, that's right. The vanvera was a leather bag that was discreetly placed under clothing, designed to muffle the sound and neutralize the smell, conveying it to a window via a tube. Basically, it was the first silencer in history, not for guns, but for butts. Although it may seem funny today, at the time it was seen as an etiquette invention, perfect for keeping up appearances in high society. Further proof that human creativity knows no bounds, especially when it comes to hiding the inevitable. The case of Ellie Lobel perplexed scientists. After 3 years of suffering from Lyme disease, she was stung by a swarm of African honeybees, and her symptoms disappeared. Although she was allergic, she had no reaction this time, and her health improved. It is suspected that the bee venom triggered an immune response that altered the bacteria's behavior. Although there is no definitive proof, this event sparked medical interest in alternative therapies. Could the venom be converted into medicine? There is a syndrome where people feel their phone vibrating, even though it isn't actually vibrating. The phantom vibration syndrome is common in the modern era, where a person perceives the phone's vibration without it actually happening. This phenomenon occurs due to a combination of psychological and neurological factors. It is estimated that over 90% of people have experienced this phenomenon at some point. Has it ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. China's technological and medical advancements are fascinating. Recently, they were able to help a patient with complex paraplegia walk again, thanks to a cerebrospinal interface. The surgery directly connected the brain to the legs, bypassing the damaged spinal cord. Artificial intelligence decoded brain signals in real time, enabling precise movements. Within days, the patient regained voluntary control, and within weeks, walked more than 5 meters with the aid of a walker. Similar research in China reinforces the hope of restoring mobility after spinal cord injuries, although the technology is still under development. Danella Gallegos, a 38-year-old woman from New Mexico, was diagnosed with an irreversible coma. Her family agreed to donate her organs, but when everything was ready for the surgery, one of her relatives noticed tears running down her face. At first, it was interpreted as a simple reflex. However, on the day of the procedure, one of her sisters noticed Donella moving, and when a doctor asked her to blink if she heard him, she did. The coordinators insisted on continuing and even sedated her to reduce her movements. Fortunately, the medical team refused to proceed and cancelled the surgery. What happened next was astonishing. Donella was not only conscious, but in the following days she made a full recovery and woke up. It's amazing how the will to live often makes you recover from something that seemed lost. A team of neuroscientists from Yale University in the United States achieved what seemed impossible: the restoration of brain activity after death. Using the brains of deceased pigs, the scientists discovered how to reverse damage caused by hypoxia, revealing new medical possibilities. The team developed BrainX, a device that simulates the function of blood vessels by pumping a nutrient and oxygen-rich solution into brains 4 hours after death. BrainX restored key metabolic functions, such as protein production and synaptic activity signals. Experts claim that these advances could change our perception of who is considered dead in the future. Honey is a natural delicacy with incredible properties, but what few people know is that it's technically bee vomit. It all begins when bees collect nectar from flowers and store it in a special stomach called a crop, where enzymes transform the sugars. They then regurgitate it back into the hive, passing it from bee to bee until it reaches the ideal consistency. Finally, they deposit it in the honeycombs to mature. Although this process is often unappetizing, it's what gives honey its unique flavor and incredible durability. Who would believe that something so delicious has such a curious origin? Yuki Matsueda is a Japanese artist known for his 3D sculptures that play with the illusion of movement. He captures objects and figures frozen in a moment of escape, as if they are trying to escape from the frame. Today's trip is over. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.